In today's news, Jevonte Wattley missing, Royal Virgin Islands Police Force seeking the public's assistance. Tourist board addresses concerns on impending appointment. A frequent ferry rides to Anegada may be coming in 2023. Tourist board's main office closed due to molds, smell prompted discovery. And I am taking a new look at valentines in the BVI. But these are more stories when Twit 4 News return.
Welcome to the 103rd season of the NFL! It's that time for the NFL playoffs every weekend with CCT Live, showing every game on CBS, NBC, ABC, and ESPN, including the Super Bowl. Sign up for CCT Live today.
There's no game like this game!
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and ask about a 1-month free trial to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
It feels good.
Well, welcome viewers to the Thursday, January 26th edition of Twit 4 News. I am Kamal Haynes, bringing the latest out of the British Virgin Islands. Well, leading to today's news, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force is requesting the public's assistance in locating a 24-year-old Cane Garden Bay resident. Well, he is Jevonte Wattley, who also goes by the alias JD, and according to reports, he did not return to his home after work on Wednesday night. But the report said, and I quote, Wattley was last seen leaving his workplace at the Right Way supermarket in Passia about 11 a.m. yesterday and has not been seen since by family or friends. He also did not report to his workplace this morning. Wattley is described as a dark male about 5'7" in height and wears glasses. He was last seen dressed in a green t-shirt with blue sleeves, long black jogging pants, and black Crocs, end quote. Police are asking anyone with information of Wattley's whereabouts to contact them at 311 or their intelligence unit at 368-9339 or 368-9593. Director for Tourism Clive McCoy cleared the air on the tourist board's impending appointment for an events manager and what this will mean for existing event committees in the territory following public backlash triggered by advertisement of the job posting. Well, Jacqueline Wooding has more.
Director of the BVI Tourist Board, Clive McCoy, has set the record straight surrounding the Tourist Board's ongoing search for an events manager after advertisements for the post became subject to backlash from members of the public. In social media posts seen by our newsroom, members of the public raised several questions on the wording of the job posting, which included a job summary stating that, among other things, the events manager would be responsible for an Emancipation Festival on Virgin Gorda, an activity which does not exist, and an error which McCoy admitted was on part of the Tourist Board.
That was a mispost. We posted that in error, and we have since then adjusted it to reflect exactly what the position is for. That was an error on our part.
Outside of semantics, there was significant concern surrounding what the appointment of the events manager would mean for the Virgin Gorda Easter Festival Committee and the Virgin Islands Festival and Fairs Committee. This was mainly due to an extensive 21-point list of job functions advertised with the position. According to the list, the events manager would be the one tasked to plan events from start to finish according to requirements, target audience, and objectives, coordinate all operations as it pertains to events and festivals in the territory, handling logistics as it pertains to any event, and ensure the execution of cultural activities and entertaining at various points of entry on high visitor arrival days, among other things. In response to these concerns, McCoy explained the supplementary role that the events manager is meant to play alongside the existing committees for the time being.
We always have somebody at the BVI Tourist Board that assists with the festival, so that's not something that will change. Like I said, we always have somebody there to assist and make sure that we understand what is going on with the festivals. So that wouldn't change. That wouldn't change. Now, I mean, things can change, By this time, we're just going to basically work on how we normally have done things. Things can change. We're always trying to find ways to make things better here in the Virgin Islands, more fluid between all the departments and the committees. But as of today, we're going to just be responsible as how we have been in the past.
Persons interested in learning more about the available position can access the job posting at bvitourism.bamboohr.com/careers/34. For 284 News, I am Jacqueline.
While frequent ferry rides to the sister island of Anegada may become a reality in 2023. Well, this is according to Premier Dr. The Honorable Natalia Wheatley, who made the announcement at a press conference on Monday. Well, he was at the time responding to a question by the media regarding concerns among Anegada residents with the inconsistency of ferry rides to the sister island. Well, Premier Wheatley said a request for proposal will soon be disseminated to the public to have interested ferry operators submit their bids to provide service to the island.
Well, in terms of frequent ferry access, you'll soon be seeing a request for proposal go out because, of course, previously we had arrangements where we would have subsidies for travel between Anegada and Tortola, which is necessary because of this population of Anegada and our responsibility to ensure that they have access to all the services being provided on the main island of Tortola. Okay, so that's important to us. And in the past, of course, some of these things have not necessarily been done in alignment with established procurement processes. So you should see a request for proposal go out soon for that.
Well, up next, Tourist Board's main office closed due to mold. Smell prompted discovery, and I am taking a new look at valentines in the BVI and Alzheimer's Disease International. These and more stories after a word from our sponsors.
Hun, it's asking for your password.
Huh?
You were logged out. I need the password.
BR.
What's the rest?
BRANDI, the number 4, EVER?
Who's Brandy?
We're like the password that isn't your ex-girlfriend's name. CG Insurance. Good like that.
I should have changed it.
You should have.
You're right.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, I can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you know.
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I hop. I watching ball. I even watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
That's out.
That's 6.
That's out.
With worldwide medical coverage and affordable premiums, we're like a home match that isn't played at your actual home. CG Insurance. Good like that.
My turn. Oh, come on, guys.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, the issue of mold continues to impact buildings across the territory, with the BVI Tourist Board and Film Commission, the most recent statutory agency to be affected. Well, the Tourist Board issued a bulletin on Tuesday, January 24th, informing residents that their main office will be closed to the general public indefinitely. Well, 284 News spoke to the Director of Tourism, Mr. Clive McCoy, who explained why management took swift action to close the office and work remotely following the discovery.
We found mold in the building, and because we care about the health and safety of our employees, we are now looking for more remediation solutions. And as soon as we have found a solution that will allow us to remediate the challenge, we will let everyone know. But until then, we have asked the staff of the BVI Tourist Board to refrain from entering the building, and we are working remotely.
Well, McCoy also revealed what led to the discovery of the mould.
We had staff that said that they smelled something funny, and once we noticed that, we immediately, they said they smelled something funny in one of the particular rooms. Once we noticed that, we moved them into the to spaces where they didn't have the smell, and we did an assessment immediately.
When asked how soon before the office reopens, McCoy said a date could not be disclosed at the moment until a full assessment has been completed. However, he assured residents that as soon as the issue is rectified, a notice will be sent out to the public.
At this moment, I don't have a timeline, but we're hopeful that maybe in a week or two we get everything sorted out. But we just want to ensure that that we dot all our I's and cross all our T's to make sure that the building is safe for our team.
Well, as a result of the closure, persons who are to collect checks, certificates, and other documents from the BVI Tourist Board and Film Commission will now have to do so from Monday to Friday between 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at their waterfront location at the Road Town Ferry Terminal. Well, moving on, viewers, where I Am by C. Haywood, a local clothing brand, is hoping to cast a new light on Valentine's Day in the BVI this year with its, and I quote, "I Am Strong Enough," end quote, Valentine's-inspired series. Well, the brand's owner, Curtison Haywood, recently sat down with Jacka Wedding and provided some insight on their approach to the season.
We approached this drop from a realistic standpoint. You know, when people think of Valentine's, they think fairy tales, right? But so we forgot that there's people who have loved and lost, you know. So yeah, so this drop is created for those people, you know, who went through heartache, you know, pain, and still here, you know, ready to love again.
Well, Haywood launched the brand back in 2019 and has been growing it ever since. Well, a process which he says is due greatly to the support he continues to receive from the community.
It drives me. Let's say this, you know, every time I leave the house and I see something that I've created on someone, you know, it really motivates me to do something else. You know, like, okay, every time I leave the house, every time I turn a corner, I want to see something I am. You know, yes, I just keep creating, you know, and sometimes even with all that creating, I mean, yeah, a little procrastination do set in. You know, but yeah, so I'm in the process of creating the habit to be consistent.
Well, while he continues to build his business, Haywood wants to encourage young persons to act on their ideas and bring their businesses to life. He provided some words of encouragement to that end.
Just start. Look, it's not an easy process for whatever venture. You know, but just going out there and starting, yeah, it's what's necessary because you're gonna fail. I've failed, and quite frankly, I will fail again. You know, that's just the process to growing, to get into the next level. You know, if you ever played video games, you'll know, like, okay, so I'm starting this video game, right? You're new to it, so you're gonna get beat, and then you get better at playing, then you're gonna beat your opponent. But guess what? You have another opponent on the other level, and they're gonna whoop you until you get better. So that's just what it is for business. You know, you just start, yeah, and you correct your mistakes as you go along.
Well, for more information on I Am, persons are invited to visit I Am Attire on Instagram or join Haywood and his team on February 3rd, 4th, 10th, and 11th as they execute community pop-ups in Longbush and Roadtown. Well, moving on, viewers, where despite recent statistics showing that dementia prevalence is set to increase in the Caribbean by 155% by 2050, regional progress in tackling the neurodegenerative condition is far too slow, says Alzheimer's Disease International, the global federation for 105 Alzheimer's and dementia associations across the world. Recently, our Ron Grant discussed the What's Your Plan movement with the president of the BVI Alzheimer's Association, Mr. Ryan Gulek, and Chris Lynch, the deputy CEO and director of policy communication and publications.
Well, I mean, in speaking with the ministry, I mean, we've had conversations, so it's not as if there's nothing going on, and I want to reiterate that certainly from the forefront, because we have had discussions with the Ministry of Health, with Social Development, and I guess, for lack of a better term, one of the holdbacks is there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do on government side. There's a lot to do on policy, and things are constantly changing. Everybody would see in the media various changes with regards to drugs that are out there or coming on the market. So there has to be policies around that. There has to be concern around the awareness side, the social side. So government has its hands full on many areas, and obviously we're coming out of COVID. A lot of these discussions started in 2017. Obviously, we know in the British Virgin Islands what happened in 2017 with Hurricane Irma and Maria. So that put us back already a year, just when we were starting to have sort of protracted discussions with government. Obviously, COVID came. So there's a lot that we are dealing with. But as you would have said, Ron, it's imperative that we start to move. ADI has essentially set a goal for 2025 where they want governments to have policies put in place which deal with dementia, would deal with Alzheimer's, both from a medical side and from a social side. So, I mean, I can speak a little bit as to some of the conversations that we've had with government. I mean, they're looking at it really from two aspects. Obviously, from the medical side, that goes to the Ministry of Health. And there has to be policies put in place on how you deal with persons living with Alzheimer's and dementia.
Well, only 16% of Caribbean countries and territories have made progress in developing a national dementia plan, most of which have inadequate funding. Well, ADI is calling for the public across the Caribbean to urge their government to take urgent action on dementia, teaming up with Alzheimer's associations in Barbados, Bonaire, British Virgin Islands, Dominica, Grenada, Puerto Rico, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Martin, St. Lucia, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago to launch a regional campaign entitled What's Your Plan?
Medically, as Chris will certainly allude to a little later on, is the cases worldwide are rising, and they are expected to rise significantly quickly. And Alzheimer's is probably the most expensive type of disease when it comes to treatment, because it takes...
Why is that?
From essentially early diagnosis down to, unfortunately, death. That can take years, almost decades. And with that comes increase in medical costs and so on. And we know from a BVI standpoint, where you already have an NHI program which is underfunded or certainly lacking funding, an increase in Alzheimer's cases or dementia cases here in the BVI would have disastrous impacts here. So it's really imperative that we do start moving, we do start having policies, especially around the awareness side of it. I can't stress enough here in the BVI and how important it is that we really get this policy put in place.
Well, urgent action is essentially required now. Experts say dementia care is simply a human right. For anyone interested in following the What's Your Plan movement, Chris had this to say.
Just to pick up on something Ryan commented on, we're really encouraged, that the government in BVI is really starting to engage now and to take these conversations forward. Underpinning this genuinely is the time issue. And Alzheimer's disease and dementia, the neurodegenerative conditions, and people will progress out of the stages where they can be diagnosed and treatment can be beneficial and care can be supportive. So time really is the most important factor with this. And if I can, let me just paint kind of a global picture for you. You've already touched on the unfortunate mortality figures. So currently globally, we're looking at dementia being the 7th leading cause of death. It's the 3rd in the Americas region, but in an increasing number of countries, it's actually becoming the leading cause of death. Now, from that, it's taken a long time working with organizations like PAHO and World Health Organization to really make dementia a global and a regional priority. And back in 2017, countries all over the world committed to developing national dementia plans in response to that global and regional priority.
Well, locally, for persons wishing to get in contact with the BVI Alzheimer's Association, they can do so by visiting VI Alzheimer's Association on Facebook. Or for the full interview, visit all 284 media platforms. Well, up next, 3G's World Tour announcement. One Love United and Lionheart FC scored a dozen in the National League, and former RBR commanding officer jailed in Bermuda. Well, these stories when 284 News return.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Freeze. Choose your mix. Choose your flavor.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
That's out. That's 6. That's out.
With worldwide medical coverage and affordable premiums, we're like a home match that isn't played at your actual home. CG Insurance. Good like that.
My turn. Oh, come on, guys.
Welcome back, viewers. Well, local phenomenon 3Gs, made up of 3 local musicians, will now be taking their talents to the next level with a recently announced world tour. Well, the group has been around for some 6 years and are heading on the road for a year. But before they do that, they are saying thanks to the BVI community for the overwhelming support over the years with a celebratory event.
This has been a long dream, a goal of mine. Like I said to you before, 6 years seemed like 6 days. We learned a lot in the process, and we know if you're going to do something that is great, you got to actually know what the journey is. I started out with them. I told them, give me 5 years and I'll give them the world. This is the second 5 years of our journey.
Okay.
All right, the first 5 years, of course, and they'll talk about that a little more, but the first 5 years is learning who you are, learning who your audience is, learning how to sing, learning how to do what to do. And I think we have all the pieces that are necessary to be able to make it in the world.
Additionally, Mr. Krishnan highlighted what the tour will comprise of.
It's going to be for almost for the year.
Beautiful.
We have some, between, as you know, you got to have sponsorship to do this kind of thing. The support. So we have that, and we work out the dates, but I don't know this much. I'll tell you, the first segment of our tour is going to be 7 islands in the Caribbean. St. Kitts, Antigua, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Dominica, Barbados, Trinidad. All right, that's going to be the first segment. The second is going to be Tanzania in Africa, Ghana, between those two, and we're going to work that out. The last segment is going to be 5 historical black colleges.
Beautiful.
All right, so I can't give you what, when, and where yet, other than the fact that we do know the first segment is going to be the Caribbean tour.
Well, the young men, who all happen to be teachers, shared encouragement to their students who may be looking on wanting to pursue their dreams as well.
Well, first I told them to sit down, to be quiet. No, you see, like, I teach music, right? And usually when students think about music, they don't think about work. They really think about the fun part, right? Playing the videos, dancing to music. But one of the things that I told them when I was teaching them, because I'm teaching them how to read music, right? And I was telling them, isn't it crazy that music is the only universal language that you don't need to know the language. You don't need to understand the words in order to enjoy the music. And like, wouldn't it be amazing to be able to do that for other people all over the world? Like, wouldn't you want to be part of that, or understand at least how that works, and why that works? And most of them usually get motivated to, at least for that one lesson, you know.
Well, like, what I also do is like I compare what they do or what they think they need to do with the YouTubers or TikTokers. They like
influencers, social media influencers that they look up to.
Yeah. So I tell them, listen, look at that person. If you think they're just like waking up one day, like I should make a video, like blah. They have a schedule, and every day they have to, not like we could say want to.
Before leaving, they took the time to bless the 284 Media set with their musical talents.
Thank you. Thank you, man, for having us.
Must have spent 45,000 up epiphanies. Oh no, got a bad ass crib, run around my whole crib like it's Chuck E. Cheese. Oh no, put me in the gym with the X-Men in the UFC. Can't believe it, can't believe it. Can't believe this.
Can't say it on TV.
Girl, got me feeling for trips, diamonds on the neck, diamonds on the wrist, and here I am all alone. I'm so cold, you got me out here smoking out the window, singing, how could she do this to me? I thought that girl belonged to only me, but I was wrong. She belongs to everybody.
Y'all better sing.
Well, for the full interview, visit all 284 Media platforms. Well, moving on to some sports, viewers, where One Love United FC is now only 3 points behind league leaders Sugar Boys FC after hammering Positive FC 6-0 at the Greenland Stadium over the weekend in the BVI Football Association's Men's National League. While playing in East End Long Luck, One Love United's victory came as a result of a pair of goals from Colin Lavia and Shane Prince, while Julian Davidson and Vaughn Williams netted the remaining 2 goals. But the victory placed United in second place, which, according to manager Mark Savage, is evidence that the other teams should be on their guard. Well, he said, and I quote, "Other teams need to be very aware now. We are here, and the league is for the taking. It was a great game. We started a bit sticky, but eventually outplayed them. They have added some players and were definitely much better than in previous games. We are mounting a serious challenge now for the title. We will be training hard, taking no team lightly, and looking to go out and win every game," end quote. Well, meanwhile, Lionheart FC also had a goal fest against their opponents, Old Madrid FC, netting 6 goals to Madrid's 1. But despite being short-handed with only 8 players, Lionheart FC was able to dominate Old Madrid from the last minute, with Maxwell Clark netting a hat-trick, while Tyrone Butter scored a pair and Michael Butt the final goal. Well, viewers, that's all we have for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. Bye-bye.